Welcome to another episode of On the Flipside. I'm Stephen Michael Zach, and today I want to talk about my emotional feelings about the YN360, and that is, I have no emotional feelings. Nope, just kidding, I'm not going to throw it. But this is a light that everybody says is a must-have in your lighting kit, and well, besides being incredibly awkward and made of really cheap plastic, it's actually, the RGB on this is not bright at all. The bicolor is pretty bright, the daylight is definitely bright, but there are a few quirks to this thing that I don't really like, and there's a reason why I replaced this with a 4-foot Quasar for less money than this cost, and I will go into it. First off, there is a plastic quarter 20 in the bottom. I actually had to come up with this mount. It's a mount from an old light in order to mount it vertically. But let's talk about the quarter 20 here. It is plastic. I wish you got one on this side, somewhere in the middle, so mounting this was better. When I mounted this straight up like this on a light pole, it would just teeter. It would just start to lean to one side. It is very, very top heavy. And when you put a big battery like this on, because you're gonna need a big battery because this thing whips through small batteries really quickly, it just becomes heavy. It's very, very overweight, especially with a battery on, but top heavy. I mean, I had this mounted and I had to really torque this, and actually, I really just had to torque this in order to keep it, and it was still kind of pulling down. I put this on an extension arm, not gonna happen. It pulled the extension arm straight down. So besides being heavy and clunky, there are some problems with the RGB function. Let's go ahead and power this thing on. As you can see, super massively, whoa, bright daylight, so that's cool. I do like that. And then we go to, the problem is too, you have to dim, in order to change settings, you have to dim it down first. That's a problem I've been having, is you have to play with it in order to get it to dim all the way down. Even on the bicolor setting, if you hit the button, like let's go ahead and hit the button, all right, there's your daylight, it dims all the way down. Go ahead and go to, there you go, that is considered your tungsten, and then it's got, of course, got this plate, which gives you kind of this weird, kind of gives you this very bizarre RGB color. But that's the thing, you have to like undim it, and you have to like dim it all the way down and then switch it over. Same could be said with the RGB, which also is very fidgety. Let's go ahead and turn this on. Let's go ahead and bring this down, hit your RGB, and there's your RGB. That's supposed to be red. It's this weird pink color. There's your blue. So there's your blue. Now let's try to dim this, and see how I can't dim this all the way down. I have to keep continuously hitting the button and trying to get to a point. You see, you get this weird yellow, and then you get your green, and then you hit it again, and then you can finally dim it down. So again, this is what I've been talking about RGBs, and how a lot of these cheaper RGB panels, the functionality is not great. I just want to be able to hit a button and dial the color in that I need. I did review, and I'll put it up here in the notes below, the GVM80, which was a little on-camera light. It was very heavy, and again, there wasn't even a display. But again, the RGB function was wonky on that. So I'm just really want something that isn't going to, something that's just simple. Like, let's go ahead and turn this on. Okay, there's your green, now you have to dial it down. Okay, there's your blue, now you have to dial it down. And then there's your red, and now you have to dial it down and go back to green. But if I go to green and I hit the button, then it goes to blue, hit the button again, it goes to daylight for some reason. And then I want to try to go back in, then I can start getting weird colors like pink, and you know, here's the red, but let's go back to the pink and hit the button. And there's your blue, and then hit the button again, and then I've got like this powder blue. So again, the RGB function on this is messy. I was actually working a gig, and it literally took, and it was a running gun gig. I was pressed for time, and it was not fast. The bicolor and tungsten are super bright. and it is great to kind of wave this over products or hold it over a product, especially when you have smoke going through the scene. This is a useful tool, but for me, I'd rather spend less money for a couple of Quasars and just gel them the old-fashioned way. This thing really is not great. I am keeping this because I can use this as a tool, and I have used it a little bit. This will probably become part of my running gun kit because Quasars are a little bit fragile to move around. Yeah, so is this a must-have piece of equipment? No, there are better things. Is it useful? Yes. So that's it for this episode of On the Flip Side. Let me know if you have one of these and what you think. I'm not impressed. I think we can find better. I'd also like to try their newer model, which is more of like a Quasar. It's more of a tube, apparently better made, but it's just far more expensive. This is about $80. For $75, you can get a 4-foot Quasar, and for $50, you can get a Quasar that's like 2 feet. So really, this really doesn't compare to what's lighting behind me now. If you look at my first videos with this set, that was lit up by this light, you can definitely tell the difference with a gelled Quasar, and there's not much gel on it at that. So that's it. I'm gonna end the episode here. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell button to be notified when we post brand new videos. I'm Stephen Michael Zach, and I'll see you on the flip side.